when you find your true passion and you apply what you're doing now for this recruitment agency, but when you apply that to something that you're truly passionate about, there'll be no stopping you.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Lance from Media Lion, and we have Georgina here, owner of ROHO vegan ice cream shop. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
No problem.
So I'd like to start with your story and how you got involved and into ROHO.
So really how it came about is, I'm ultimately my customer.
Right.
So probably about 5-6 years ago, I decided to move to a more plant-based diet.
Sure.
Pretty much cutting out meat and dairy entirely. And I guess just while I was doing that, I just noticed that literally when we were going out for dinner and trying to find places to go for dessert as a group, there wasn't really anywhere that we could go that would have something that would cater for me. So
Sure.
That wasn't just a case of it being dairy-free. It was also with a consciousness to the amount of sugar that was in there, because I guess I'm also quite health conscious, really like to look after my body.
Sure.
So it kind of came from that. I just noticed that it didn't exist. There was a lot of sorbets on offer, which are obviously pretty much sugar.
All sugar and water.
And it was a case of having to go and buy a tub from a Whole Foods, and that really removes the experience. The whole in the circumstance I'm talking about, it was when you've just gone for dinner, you're strolling down on an evening looking for something nice to do,
Sure.
and going and getting an ice cream is something that people enjoy doing, especially in the summer. And it was removing that experience because you have to go and buy a tub of ice cream and eat the whole thing, which isn't necessarily what you want to do either. You're just not being able to partake in that experience. So I guess that's what I thought was missing. There are some beautiful brands out there that offer tubs that you can buy in store, but there wasn't a store that was doing that. There wasn't an in-store experience that you could get that from.
So you felt there was a bit of a gap in the market?
Yes, I definitely do. I think there was a gap for someone doing it in store. There was also a gap for, I guess, catering to all of the qualities that I think that we look at. So we do, in different flavors, we can accommodate diabetics.
Right, because it is sugar-free.
So we have sugar-free,
dairy-free.
we have dairy-free, we have, and the ice cream itself is gluten-free, and a lot of the other options or the products that we do, like our cookie ice cream sandwich.
Which are amazing.
Thank you. We've just actually released that as a wholesale product, which is really exciting, but that is, all gluten-free as well. So
awesome.
It's under the umbrella of it being, what we started out as being vegan. There's a lot of other dietaries that come under that. So we have
Sure.
children that come in that are celiac. We have people that are lactose intolerant. We have people that are diabetic.
Yep.
And I guess just also a lot of conscious eaters, which is really probably what I would describe myself as. I suppose why we call it vegan, or why we decided to say vegan, is because it can be. And it can be really delicious whilst being that.
Sure.
So we're not sort of necessarily what we're just out to do is to show you that you can have this ice cream experience, and it can also be adhering to all of those things.
Yeah, so not just vegan. It is, like you mentioned, celiac. If you are celiac, or if you do have diabetes, or you are just health conscious as well. Yeah. It's not just made for vegan people.
No, not at all. And I think it's probably where, unfortunately, the word vegan has been dragged through the dirt a little bit. Yeah. And that's not to say that we're really proud of what we do, but I suppose we now have, I guess, it's a little bit of a battle in trying to just also say, look, like, you don't have to be vegan to have vegan food. There's a lot of food that's vegan by default that you eat and enjoy. So we're also just trying to really, I guess, educate the people that are just maybe looking to have a meat-free day a week, or
Definitely.
just cut down on their dairy intake. For the reasons might not be because they are looking to be vegan. There might be other reasons as well. But,
Sure, yeah.
So that's probably a bit of a challenge that we've come up against, is that we, trying to convert rather than just offer something to existing, vegans, I guess.
Look, I have a background in nutrition. That's what I studied at uni.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And, veganism is the healthiest diet. I couldn't do it. I just love meat too much. But it is one of the healthiest diets, for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, look, I totally understand what you mean by you don't want to it is vegan, but it's for everybody.
It's for everybody. A word that I actually always use is inclusive.
Right.
We tried to create something that's really inclusive, so your whole party, entourage, everyone, family can come all together.
Yeah.
And there's something that everyone, can enjoy. We've tried our best to make it that there's something for everyone.
Sure. And I've tried them and they're great. Yeah, they're really good.
It's good. And I think, if you come in with if you try it with an open mind, there's no point in trying to, to compare it to something or to try and make it something that it's not, because it's not in a sense. But if you appreciate it for what it is, it's delicious.
Yeah. And so what are you sweetening it with then?
So some of our flavors use just stevia and xylitol.
Sure.
Which comes from a non-GMO. It comes from the cob of corn, actually. So, and overall that's around 10% that we use, so really low.
Cool.
Ice cream's usually around 25 to 50%, so we keep it very, very low. And then in some of our flavors, we do use just a raw, organic, unrefined sugar. And that's just for those who don't necessarily enjoy having stevia and xylitol.
Yeah, so you do have a sugar option.
Well, so we have an unrefined sugar option.
Yeah, okay.
And that's, again, just kind of evolved from just...
Which is brown sugar.
So it's, and then in any sort of... Yeah, so we have, I guess, our unrefined, we have our refined sugar-free options, and then we have our completely sugar-free options.
Okay.
And those are the ones that are just stevia and xylitol. And then in the the refined sugar-free, we have, it will either be coconut sugar, maple.
Right.
Yeah, or a raw sugar.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. And I do want to get on to when you first opened up, when you did that, but I want to know all the flavours, and I'm sure the listeners want to know what flavours. Well, they probably already know because they visited your shop.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, we do change the flavours. I mean, we have some, staples which are included also in the wholesale product that we've just launched. So that's our house favourite, which is the cashew cream honeycomb.
Cashew cream honeycomb.
Cult favourite has to be matcha mint choc chip. We do a beautiful hazelnut chocolate, and then coconut vanilla.
Yeah.
And we have just started our coconut pandan and cookie, which uses our tahini cookie that we break up into it and fold through. Okay. And that's beautiful. That's been really popular. But we have a flavour that we have a special that we change every couple of weeks, and we use that as an opportunity to collaborate with other businesses, other products, use seasonal produce, which we're really keen to do as well.
Yep.
So that's I guess an externally influenced.
Okay. Now,
flavor.
So with the honeycomb, what was it? Honeycomb?
Cashew cream honeycomb.
Cashew cream honeycomb.
So it's not actually honey,
It's obviously, it's not honey. Can you give us a ingredient list? Or how?
Well, I can give you an insight.
You don't have to give us a recipe.
No, you can. So that's a cashew, coconut base.
Okay.
We use a roasted organic chicory root to give it a really sort of caramelly, deep, almost slightly mockery flavour to it.
Okay. So how do you make the caramel? Is there caramel going into there? Because it was cashew.
Cashew cream honeycomb. So the
cashew
cashew cream
honeycomb.
is the base.
Sure.
And like, as I say, we kind of give it that slightly mockery flavor or that
Right.
caramelly flavor in the base of it
Awesome.
through the chicory root.
Uh-huh.
And then the honeycomb, what happens with the honeycomb is that when it's in contact with moisture, it does slightly melt anyway. So after we folded the honeycomb through, it will start to release sort of a caramel into the ice cream.
Sure.
But the center will still have a slightly crunchy honeycomb texture to it.
Okay. And it's real honeycomb.
When we make it, no. So it's a coconut sugar honeycomb that we make. Yes.
Okay. I get you. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what was your flavor this? Have you got a special flavor this week?
So we have a black sesame and brittle, which was actually an accident, to be honest, but it turned out delicious.
What happened? I must ask.
So it was actually making the cashew cream honeycomb that
Right.
black sesame seeds were put in instead of the chicory root. And
Right.
I was sort of wondering, I was like, why is the colour the same and this kind of not usually this really nice like caramelly colour that it goes?
Sure.
And sort of tried it and picked up on this sesame flavour. But it was really good. So I thought, okay, well, we'll just have to add, we'll make it more. So we added more sesame. Then we made a brittle out of sesame seeds.
Yep.
And it's probably a new favourite of mine. It's very
Nice.
good.
Nice. Awesome. So
we're super passionate about not wasting. It's a really big part of we try and
which goes on a
rework
lot.
accidents and disasters into something amazing.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. You have two shops, one in Leederville, one in South Fremantle.
Yeah.
What shop was first?
South Fremantle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when did you open South Fremantle?
So it was 2017.
17, yeah.
Yeah.
And how long's Leederville been open for?
2018 we opened
Cool.
Leederville. Yeah.
Okay. And this is your first business venture?
Not exactly. So I started my first business when I was 17.
Sure.
Which was it was a dress.
It was a dress?
I went traveling to South Africa, and just in this little boutique there they had this dress which was you could like wear it in like 100 different ways, and I had never seen it before and hadn't seen it in the UK.
Right.
So I decided, I thought, oh, this is great. So I got actually a card from the shop that I got it from, and it turned out that they manufactured the dresses. They weren't just selling the dresses. So when I got home, I basically contacted them about importing them to sell them, which I did.
From South Africa?
From South Africa, yeah, which I did. And then I started just doing like little pop-ups, selling them on Facebook and on eBay and on a website that I created. And then during one of my pop-ups, which I did at Birmingham University, which was where my sister was studying, and there was lots of foot traffic going through with all the students, I had someone approach me saying that they had a factory in Birmingham manufacturing clothes.
Okay.
And would I be interested in doing that instead? So I essentially started having them manufactured in Birmingham, which was great because it was about 30 minutes away.
Sure.
I could go in and pick the fabrics and pick the colours. It was really fun. Sort of did photo shoots and sort of remarketed it as being really great for pregnancy.
Right.
Like, because it was really suitable, like accommodating if you were pregnant, in that it was like a one size fits all. And yeah, it actually did really well.
How long did you have it for?
It's for about 3 years. About 3 years I did that for.
And you sold it online?
Sold it online, sold it at sort of event shows like baby show, Christmas shows, ideal home shows, clothes shows. And yeah, it was really, really fun. And but I was doing that alongside, I was running with my mum. Actually, we ran a staffing agency together as well.
Here or in the
UK? Yeah, so my family were also in the UK.
Okay.
And so we were...
Is it recruitment, staffing?
Well, it was like event staffing.
Okay.
So yeah, different kind of recruitment, I guess. But it was sort of models, hospitality staff, sales staff.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So really, you know, dynamic. I was always going to different shows, always going to different events, sort of managing the staff at the events. And like I wasn't sure ever what exactly I was going to do. I enjoyed loads of different things. And I wouldn't say that I'm someone that's amazing at any one thing, apart from vegan ice cream now, I will admit.
Sure.
But at the time, there was lots of things I really enjoyed and was quite good at. Like I had an eye for like style and for interiors, and you know I was always the one that dressed the Christmas tree, and it was like my job, and I was very precious about it, and my room was always immaculate, and I was almost decorating our family home. Like I was in charge of that. Like if we were choosing the furnishings and wallpaper, it was like my thing. Always like pulling out recipe books, and so I just like to try lots of different things. But I was never 100% sure what exactly I was going to do. So I just kind of fell into this dress thing, then started building upon this business with my mum. And it was great. At 17, 18, I had a pretty good income, and it funded a lot of the travels that I did do. But when I moved here, it felt like the right time for me to sort of just look at other things. My heart wasn't set on doing those things forever. It was just good practice at the time. And
And so when did you when did you move to Australia and finish with
So it was 2011?
Sure.
12? I've been here for 6 years now. So 6, 7, yeah. So it's about 2011. It must be later than that. I can't even think now.
Well, 6 years would be
2014, wouldn't it?
14, yeah.
Yeah, 2004. That's right, because I'd been here for 2 years when I opened the shop. So 2014, yeah. So
then you opened the shop.
Yeah, just turned 21.
Yeah, right.
And then I moved here. And I kind of just came with a bit of an open mind. First of all, I didn't think I was moving here. I just thought I was
on a holiday
coming here.
By yourself?
And no, my partner had moved over with rugby. So
right.
Yeah, we it was just kind of I was just coming here. I was never really looking at it as a long-term thing. And then just sort of I don't know, one thing led to another. We got a permanent residency, or we got sponsors. It just sort of goes from there. And you think, we might as well get this, we might as well do that. And obviously, it's a pretty lovely place to live anyway. And so I was doing other jobs just as always thinking they were going to be very short term. But I just ended up going a little bit more, I guess, more corporate and sort of being based out of an office. And I just really hated it. I just got to the point where I was really not very happy.
So you had an office job when you got here?
Yeah, so I started working for a real estate agent.
Right.
And then I worked with a actual recruitment agency. I guess they seemed to think I might have something to offer because I'd done but it was very different. Very, very different. I'd never worked from an office before. We'd done all of our admin stuff from the kitchen table, and then it was all out. Events actually on your feet, which I much prefer. Yeah. So I used to constantly pester for a stand-up desk and all of this because I just hated being sat down all day.
Yeah. I can't do it either.
No, I hate it. Yeah. So and I kind of I just really decided that there was just no point in me doing what I was doing, and I needed to start thinking about what I actually wanted to do. Yeah. And I was kind of prepared to have off a significant amount of time and just do really casual things that sort of tickled some of those interests so that I could work out. I contemplated studying, which I'd never did the university jaunt, just didn't get there. And then pretty much within a month of me leaving those jobs, I found this spot in South Freo. And I wasn't entirely sure what it was going to be, but I just decided I wanted to look for a commercial space. I really wasn't sure what I was thinking, but one of the ideas I'd had was for vegan ice cream. Yeah. And when I found this spot, it kind of just clicked, and I was like, gosh, this would be perfect for that. There's nothing down this way. It's the right community for it. And it just kind of happened. And at the time, it was literally just the garage to a house. So I moved into the house, and then I started the process of applying to get it converted to commercial use, which it was in a mixed zone area. So I knew that there was potential for it, but it wasn't yet. So I had to kind of go through that council process first, which took about 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
And in that time, I guess it was a blessing in disguise that it actually took that long, because that's when I suppose spent the time
planning.
Yeah. And I suppose what I was doing changed, like what I planned to do changed. Originally I had this idea of, yes, it was going to be vegan ice cream, but it was going to be like banana-based ice cream that could be done 3 ways. So you could have it in a smoothie bowl, as like a shake, or as an ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
That was what I'd originally planned on doing with it.
Right.
And then as that time went on, I started using coconut, and I really liked more what you could do with that. And
banana and the coconut, or just?
No, I just moved towards like,
Sure.
I tried and I just decided no. And then I just in my head thought, do you know what? I want us to be really good at one thing.
Yep.
And to build a brand that's known for doing something really well. So I
Sure.
thought, like, let's just keep it really simple.
Yep.
And so 6 flavors.
Yep.
Do them really well, and be known for that. So it changed in that period of time. So that's why I always say I'm really grateful that it actually took a bit longer.
Well, planning is important, and business is, I can definitely relate. I had my first business at about 20, and same, found a space. It just clicked, and had no idea what I was doing, but thought I'd do it anyway. Rent was about 2.5 a month.
I know. I've never actually been a massive planner. I just have always kind of gone with it. I'm not putting that out as advice necessarily, but there's also got to be something to say for just going with your gut as well, and just
definitely. And imperfect action is one of my.
But I think also that what's I actually always remember someone saying to me when I was working in a startup recruitment business here. I had a friend who was a really intelligent guy and very entrepreneurial spirit. And I always remember him saying to me, George, when you find your true passion and you apply what you're doing now for this recruitment agency, but when you apply that to something that you're truly passionate about, there'll be no stopping you. But the what's holding you back is that this isn't really what lights your fire.
I tell my girlfriend that every day.
And so I think that's really true, because I didn't really ever start this, to be honest, with a vision of where it was going to go. I really just was like, I just want to create a job for myself doing something that I really enjoy. Yeah,
and I think that's
and
definitely
so
where
it was all very like authentic. It all was kind of down to like, but I was using myself as the I didn't really go out to provide something that to other people. I didn't go out and sort of initially, as in I was assuming there was lots of people like me. So I was always using myself as the benchmark. Like, is this something I would eat? Is this something I want? And I think when you do that, you kind of stop cutting corners, because you're just being very true to what you believe in. So that's still what we do. I still always almost use myself as a bit of a judge on the decisions that we make.
For sure. Yep, definitely, 100%. So you opened up in 17 and 18.
Yes. So
17 and 18.
I had South Fremantle opened in August 2017, and then I opened Leaderville in December 2018.
Yep, awesome. I know you also do cakes.
Yes. Yeah.
You do wedding cakes, birthday cakes.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't done too many wedding cakes yet. We've probably got a couple under our belt, but predominantly it's birthday cakes, celebration cakes. Seems that Australians really enjoy an ice cream cake. I wasn't really even aware of it, to be honest, before I came here, and then when we opened, we just had a lot of requests for it, and I wouldn't credit myself as being a cake maker at all.
Sure.
I am very much self-taught from scratch. And I remember when I sort of got my first request, I thought, well, I can't do this because I'm not a skilled cake decorator, pastry chef, nothing.
Sure.
So I kept sort of saying, no, it's not something we do. then I had a girl approach me and really trying to pitch herself to me, that she'd worked overseas I think she's from New Zealand, and she'd worked in cake shops doing raw cakes and X, Y, and Z. Would I have a job for her to do?
Right.
And I sort of thought, okay, well, maybe this could be an opportunity to sort of introduce this to the business. So I remember she came in for a trial and she did a cake, and I sort of thought, okay, well, it's pretty good. And I said to her, look, I don't have a full-time job to offer you. We don't even do cakes at the moment. But if you're happy to, I can start advertising now that we do cakes, and every time we get a cake order, you can come in and make it, and I'll pay you for doing that.
Yep.
She sounded pretty happy at the time, and then I think probably less. In fact, no, that was what happened. I actually advertised for it. I think I had 4 orders based upon the post that I'd put up.
Mm-hmm.
And
pretty good.
Well, yeah, it was pretty good. And then when I sort of touched base with her to actually organise her coming in and doing it, she contacted me to say that she'd actually decided that she was moving back to New Zealand.
Oh, you're joking.
So she'd fought so hard and so persistently, and then when it actually came Kenya to play, but then all of a sudden I had these 4 cake orders.
What'd you do?
So I just had to give it a go.
You did it yourself?
I just did it. I was like, okay.
What, she bailed? She's out of here?
She bailed. She was gone back to New Zealand. So
wow.
So I thought, all right, well, let's give this a go. And it's actually really funny when I look at the ones that I did back then compared to what we do now. They are quite different. Yeah. And turned out people really loved them. So, and, we do have definitely that kind of, as we even said, sort of imperfect perfect, which seems to work pretty well. They look very abundant, and everything on there is stuff you can physically eat, and it's all things that we sort of parts of what we sell in store.
They're very creative.
Yeah.
Very creative. So how many cakes do you do? How many different style cakes?
Oh, well, they're all custom. So
they're custom made. Yeah. Okay.
So we have sort of a build it model for that. So the customers just online choose size, and then the flavors, the toppings, and they can sort of build it up and load it up as much as they choose.
And this is roho.com?
It's rohobure.com.
ROHOBURE.com.
Yeah.
Yep. And you can order online and choose toppings and everything like that.
Yeah.
Cool. I want to ask you, for people that are listening and they are in an office and not happy with their job, because like you said, if you were to put all that energy into your own business venture, you're doing 40, 50, 60 hours a week in an office and you're not happy.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them? Because it is hard in business.
Oh, gosh, it really is.
And they're getting a stable income.
Yeah.
But but I think everyone has a desire to build a business. I may be wrong.
You think everyone does?
I think most people, not everyone.
See, I don't know. I would disagree with that.
You don't think anyone...
I think there are some people that do not want that pressure at all.
Definitely people that don't want that.
Yeah.
100%. But I think there's always a desire to do what you're passionate about. Whether it's not a business, but more your passion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you can't satisfy your career through working for someone else, because either it doesn't exist or maybe you don't have the relevant skills. I remember when I was setting up ROHO, obviously I didn't have an income for a period of time, and I was doing casual things, but I didn't have then that stable income.
Sure.
So I was turning my hands to do different things, but I did try and get some experience working in just a kitchen environment, because I'd never worked in a kitchen.
And now you've got a commercial kitchen.
I've got a commercial kitchen, but I couldn't get a job working in a kitchen. I couldn't even get a job working in a cafe in some instances, because I just didn't have
the experience.
And so it's in that way, I suppose sometimes what you have, what experience you have can definitely prevent other people employing you, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to be great at it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's probably the part that I would say is if you're passionate enough about something and relying on someone else to materialize that dream is unlikely, then of course I think you've got no choice but to give it a shot yourself.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. I think if you have the passion and you have a skill set, I believe everyone is a genius in their own way, or they're a genius in one thing, at one thing, whether it's playing guitar or drums or art.
Yeah, but I think also it might just be that they're just great at adapting or great at organizing or great at, inspiring and managing people and bringing the best out of people. I think sometimes it's not even necessarily an industry or a subject that you studied at school, like I'm great at math, science, art, or this or that. I think it's just you might be really great at coming up with ideas or just being efficient or resourceful, like whatever it might be. There's just some people that are good at certain things like that, and I suppose that's almost probably what I would consider myself. I don't necessarily think that I'm a great chef, or would never even call myself a chef.
Ice cream maker.
But I think that I've got the commitment and I have obviously belief behind this.
Yeah.
And it's all of those things. And I have vision for the bigger picture.
Would you do this for free if money wasn't an issue? Would you do it for free?
Well, at one point I was, so.
Yeah.
I was in a way doing it for free.
Yeah.
So.
I just always got asked to find your passion. Would you do what you're doing for free if money wasn't an issue?
So I think that I couldn't be in a kitchen all day.
Sure.
But what I would do for free is the part that I guess I'm progressing and now have probably already achieved now that we have grown, which is that I'm an interior designer. I'm a partly graphic designer. I develop recipes and, collaborate with other businesses and, come up with products. And it's kind of the part that I enjoy is doing bits of all of that. There are some bits that I really don't enjoy, but I enjoy doing the bits of all of that. So would I do that for free?
Yeah.
I love that part. I love the overall part. But I think it's just as important to identify all the things that you don't enjoy and that you're not good at and, delegate those things to somebody else.
Yep.
So that they can do
That's just part of business.
Yeah.
That's, the stuff that you don't want to do.
But there's certainly parts of running my business that, no, I would not do for free and I don't enjoy. So I think your goal is that you can work towards that you can focus on the parts that you do enjoy.
Yeah.
And other people can take over the parts that you don't. But I also, I don't, to be truthful, like I say, I don't necessarily thrive working in a kitchen. I thrive on product development.
Sure.
And sort of coming up with flavors, coming up with products. That's really what I enjoy.
Yeah. Awesome. So when you first opened South Fremantle, obviously I'm in the digital marketing space. So I do want to ask what
marketing I did?
Your marketing strategy or what marketing you did. Was it flyers? Was it, you've got a lot of walking traffic where you are. Did you have to do marketing?
What did we do? It was really just Instagram and Facebook. And then I remember we did a sort of an influencer day where we invited influencers down over a day to come and just try the ice cream before everyone else.
And there wasn't a cost to that?
There was no cost
to it.
Was
it just a free
It was just free. It was just
cream?
A free tasting, free tastings to people that we invited down.
Nice.
And we actually, we sort of did create a real hype. It was, I remember someone coming in and just being like, "You're everywhere. You're absolutely everywhere."
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, "Really?"
Because of the influencers putting it
so,
on there.
And maybe just because it was, I don't know, Perth loves new foodie spots. So,
yeah, definitely.
But I think we were different. We were definitely unique at what we were doing. So I think that helped, and also it was really good, and that helped too.
Yep.
But yes, so we did that, and then that was pretty much.
And what did you get the influencers to do? Just come and...
We just literally said, can you come down, try the product, and obviously in return,
if you like it,
talk about it, and post about it, and let people know where we are.
And where did you find the influencers, out of curiosity? Do you remember?
Just from Instagram, from looking ourselves and looking at...
Yeah, so you just typed in, say, like Perth location hashtag or influencer hashtag. Can't remember.
I don't even think I understood it well enough to do that. I think we just identified people that seemed to have a lot of local followers and influence, and took that approach. But I mean, I didn't really know what I was doing. It was just, I think I don't
even think stories was around that time. No, so it's just a post.
Wasn't around then. It was just a post, and I mean, I definitely designed my shop wanting it to be beautiful,
which it is.
Which it is. I love my shop.
Yeah.
Because I wanted it. I knew even then that everything was about taking a photo on Instagram. So I wanted to have a really identifiable,
so good
aesthetic, and that was we had these gorgeous walls that we've put into both of them, and the whole plan was for every shop we have to have a different color. And
what color is South Fremantle?
It's like a green.
Okay.
It's beautiful green.
Okay.
And then Leaderville's pink, and it's
yep.
amazing. But and it kind of looks like ice cream in a way.
Yeah.
It's like a very abstract to me. Like
it's
like ice cream's on the walls. It's sorry.
That's all right.
It's this really kind of just almost looks like you want to eat the wall.
It is.
So I did that. That was the plan for that, was to just have a really beautiful experience when you come in. And I also, I guess, the aesthetic as well was supposed to be almost contradictory to what we actually were, which is that a lot of the way I describe ROHO is it's like the green way to indulge.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted people to still feel like it was indulgent. I didn't want people to feel like just because they were having something that was plant-based or sugar-free that they had to sit on a crate. They could still sit on a beautiful chair.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, like all the wood that we used in our shop was recycled old parquetry flooring that we relaid, and it is actually a very and the wall is done by a gorgeous local business. So there's a lot of still very earthy and local input, but I still wanted it to feel indulgent, so that walking in, you don't necessarily automatically have this like you're sacrificing, or if that makes sense. I still wanted it to feel, and that's why we had these gorgeous ceramic bowls and gorgeous copper spoons. So the whole thing just felt.
It is an experience.
It's an experience.
Yeah, it's like the book by Michael Gerber. Have you read that one?
I haven't. No.
I forgot the title. It'll come back to me, but it's a book about just the experience, and it's set in a hotel. Then you get your favorite music when you rock up to your room, and I think in business the experience is very important, and you've done an awesome job at it. So.
I mean, it's really hard. It's a really difficult thing to balance. I mean, we've a lot of our staff, in order for us to actually, because we are still a business, we have to make money, or you can't exist.
Well, that's right.
And so we do try and be as efficient and resourceful as possible. So for the most part, we generally only have one staff member working, and they're always they're generally multi-talented, should I say, in that they might help in food preparation, as well as serving.
Yeah.
And so, sometimes it might appear. So, for example, you might walk into the shop and there's not someone immediately at the counter because they might be behind the back, preparing something. And, sometimes we've had, I guess, complaints about, the fact that, and it's really just trying to explain, it's finding that balance between, we want it to be an incredible experience, but in order for that experience to even exist, especially in your startup phase,
You need to run it lean.
You got to run it lean.
You have to run a business lean.
Yeah. So it's kind of just going, gosh, if I had the privilege of having 2 people at one time and having someone in the back and someone in the front,
have someone
then I
sitting
absolutely
there.
would.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
we just aren't in a position to do that. So we kind of just have to do the best we can. But it's, you always have to obviously take these comments with a pinch of salt, but it is hard because it's, of course, what you want to do.
Look,
it's just not
it
necessarily
is
feasible.
That's right, and any feedback, negative or positive, is always gold for a business.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
But at the same time, if people don't understand business and how you have to run it efficient and lean, then you do get feedback that isn't necessarily what you want to hear.
Well, it's more just, there's always something you can do with it, but in a way, sometimes there's at that present time, there's nothing you can do with it at the time because you can't necessarily operate any other way. So, but it is it's one of my goals is for us to get to a point where we can have 2 people all the time, not only to sort of make sure that our customer service is as good as it can be, but also from a staff morale point of view as well, keep each other accountable, productive. That's right. And there's lots of reasons, but you can't have everything at once. I mean, we still don't have branded packaging, which it's some businesses, it's the first thing that they do, and
that's another 20 grand exercise,
which we still haven't, because I guess there's other things in terms of just the actual product being amazing that we felt was more important.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And that's the most important, making sure the product is there.
Yeah.
For sure. What other marketing did you do? So you did the influencers that would have ran out
at some point.
Yeah. And then what was the next kind of, do you remember what the next strategy was or the next tactic? Or you just kept, obviously you kept posting on Instagram.
We've always just done that. We always just kept posting, I guess, always made a real effort for our content to be very consistent in that, most of the photographs are all taken within our stores against our walls. And so there's a really nice flow to the actual page.
Yep. And who manages your Instagram? You upload the post.
I upload, and I take most of the photos.
And the photos are on a camera or your phone?
Just on my phone.
On your phone. But you got good lighting in there, so the photos come out pretty good.
Yeah.
They come out good.
So I guess we relied on that. And then, to be honest, it's mainly been just organic growth.
And lots of word of mouth.
Which is good. I mean, that's great. I'm pretty happy about that.
And now... Well, I know you're doing Facebook ads because I've been helping you with that. So when did you start doing paid advertising?
So that was really when I started chatting to you. And that was, I guess, like what I said right at the beginning, which was kind of, look, I think that every vegan in Perth knows that we exist. But in order for us to, like I say, have more staff members working, we've got to have higher revenue. So we need to now attract new audiences, and we can't keep relying on the same people coming to our store. Although repeat customer is obviously great,
sure.
We need to now widen that customer base. So then it's about educating other people on, okay, you might not be vegan, but you might be really interested in having something that's sugar-free. You might be really interested in having something that's gluten-free. You might really not react well to dairy. So going for something lactose free is also great for you. So it was really about looking at how we could try and pitch to new audiences. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
And how long's the Facebook ads been going for now?
Oh my goodness.
About 6 months?
Yeah. Oh no.
Less?
Less, definitely less. Yeah. Only be a couple, like maybe 2-3 months, isn't it? Definitely not 6.
I know you had the birthday cake one.
Oh, tell a lie. Sorry. No, so we did a buy one get one free offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. That was a like an automated, which we did back in, I think that was November. Yeah, so that would have been 6 months ago.
Yeah, but I've only been helping you for about 3 months.
Yes, that's right.
But I know you've been, but the Facebook ads have been running for about
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah.
Would you say in that time that you've been running Facebook ads, have you seen an increase in either revenue or more customers, or, has it been effective for you?
I wouldn't necessarily say that we've had sort of an influx in, say, cake orders. But what we have had, I think, is new customers.
Okay.
So people that hadn't heard of us before.
Right.
So a lot of the customers that are coming are brand new.
Right. You're doing Scoops for Society?
So we're doing Scoops for Society, and I suppose that's, I guess, I mean, it's one of the things like with ROHO I always wanted to be in a position to do was to use it as a tool to do good and to actually have some impact in some way. So I'd been wanting to do something like this for a while, but trying to build something into your day-to-day is actually a lot more complicated than you would think, and you've got to kind of get it right for it to be sustainable. And
can you explain what Scoops of Society is?
So what we've basically done is that one day a week we offer 50% off our ice cream.
Okay.
In store. So 50% off a single scoop essentially.
Yep.
And in return, you as a customer give a minimum gold coin donation.
Right.
And the donations go towards a local cause that's voted in by the customers. So we have a page on our website where you can vote for a cause. And the point of it was for it to be, it's incredibly local. So it could be anything really.
Any local charity?
No, not
or
necessarily.
Local
just
event.
Local person.
Yeah, right.
It could be someone that's just going through a hard time.
Sure.
It could be someone who's got a vet bill they can't pay.
Yep.
It could be
awesome.
Yeah, anything. So we actually the first one we did, we raised for actually one of my staff members. His dad has been battling cancer.
Jeez.
So we paid for him to go back to Victoria and then paid for a return flight for him to come back when he wanted to visit.
Nice, yeah. And that was voted on the website?
That was the first Scoops of Society we ever did, and I actually made an executive decision that that's what I wanted to do, because it kind of embodied everything that it is about, and that's what I wanted it to be about.
Sure.
And then the second one we've just recently done was for 9 Lives Cat Rescue, which is what that was. That was voted in masses. We had so many votes for 9 Lives Cat Rescue, and that's an organisation which looks after organising adoption for cats.
Nice.
And I'm thinking of the words now. It's not really my lingo, but their general overarching care of cats, whether it's providing food,
or adoption,
veterinary care.
And they're in Perth.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we just raised for them.
Awesome.
And then, of course,
Do you know how much you raised?
When we started raising them was when we just started to see the impact of COVID-19. A lot of Scoop Society does rely on in-store foot traffic.
Sure.
So we raised 218 in the 2 weeks.
Sure, that's good.
Which I'm always just like, cool, something is definitely better than nothing.
Yeah.
So we raised 218.
Awesome.
And because obviously as of a couple of days ago, we are now limited to just takeaway, and we've really just shifted towards offering delivery, which we're doing free delivery in Perth Metro for a minimum $40 spend, so we can still get ice cream to our customers.
Yep.
We are trying, I guess, think of different ways that we can still raise and still actually offer something very relevant to what's currently going on, in a way that people can still do that from home. So we're going to look at some sort of online, probably going to be looking at a raffle, which we did for the bushfires. We raised for the bushfires through raffling cakes.
Okay.
And we raised over $1,000 for that.
Nice. Yep. And that went to the fireys.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you are doing delivery, and just for the listeners out there that are still, while we go through this time, you are doing delivery, all flavours of ice cream.
Yep. So we're doing all our tubs. We're basically offering.
Are they kilo tubs?
They're 500 ml. So
500 grams.
Half
yeah.
a litre.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're doing all of our flavours, toppings, sauces, cones, cookies. Essentially, most of the staples that we have in store, and we are still doing our cake orders, so we can deliver cake orders too.
Okay, so you're still doing cake orders as well,
yeah.
And if they order in, say, the morning or before lunchtime, are you then delivering it in the evening?
Yes, yeah, we're delivering at night. The cakes, obviously, we have a bit of a couple of days lead time on those.
Sure, yeah.
But anything else, yeah.
Okay, and you're leaving the orders at the door.
Yeah, so we're doing a non-contact delivery. So they'll receive an SMS to say that the package is going to be delivered, that it's going to be left at the door.
Sure.
And obviously that they just appreciate and respect the fact that we're not kind of going in, and obviously most of them are pretty grateful for that anyway.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah.
They can order online.
It's all basically
it's all online.
And
they can't ring up and order.
They can call, obviously, if they have any queries, but the order needs to go through online because we're doing no cash. It's all prepaid for, so there's no transaction there to keep it the non-contact.
Okay, but they can contact either one of your shops?
Well, it's just myself, essentially. So they could contact myself to have assistance in placing the order, but the order needs to go through online.
Okay, and they can find your number. They can find your number through Google.
It's on the website.
It's on the website.
It's on the website.
So ROHO BURE .com, and they can get in contact with you there.
Yep.
Sanitization. Obviously can you explain what steps you're taking to make sure that everything is sanitized or whatnot?
I mean, being a food business anyway, we obviously have hygienic standards to adhere to.
Sure.
And then I guess we're just taking extra precautions based on the guidelines that have been sent out to us as well. So the staff are wearing gloves and replacing those gloves whenever they're contaminated.
Cool.
We have hand sanitizer, obviously, in store, and it's really just about making sure that after pretty much every action you take, you're re-washing your hands.
Sure.
Obviously, it's all brand new single-use packaging, so nothing's being reused at the moment. And I mean, it's just it's really just taking what we were already doing just to another level.
Definitely, yeah. Was there anything else to cover for the delivery? I don't think so. We've covered the flavours. We covered how to order, and then so you can order in the morning, gets delivered in the evening. What time are you delivering?
So we're delivering between 6:30 and sort of 9ish. I mean, some of the orders are going on the deliveries are going on a bit longer depending on how many we have that day.
Sure.
But we're sort of starting at 6:30,
Sure. And I suppose if they order at, say, 5 o'clock, then it'll go to the next night? Because it's hard to work out the logistics when it's just been put on you straight away.
We've literally had to come up with this like other food businesses in a matter of days. So we're still figuring it out a little bit. But no, I mean, to be honest, if we can get it to you that night, then we will.
Yeah, okay. So the earlier they put their order in, the better, the less stress and logistically on you. So look, I think that was it for delivery. Is there any other things that the listeners need to know if they do want to order some ice cream? That's it.
No, that's pretty much it, I guess.
Yep, go to the website, put your order in. If you've got any queries, give you a call, pay online. And are you delivering? That was the other one. Are you delivering? Where are you going to be delivering? Is it obviously you can't be going to Joondalup, or are you going that far? Or
we kind of are. We're going as far as we can. We can go.
Okay. And how much is it?
So it's a minimum $40 spend.
Okay. So and then it's free delivery.
It's free delivery. Yeah.
Nice. That's good. Okay. Any other things?
I mean, it's really about the fact that we want to allow our customers to continue to enjoy what they would have considered quite a simple indulgence, regardless of the current situation.
Definitely.
Ice cream's something that, it brings a smile. It's
well, especially if you have a underlying, nutritional kind of issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And so
well.
You're restricted in any case. So people that would have previously made the effort to come all the way to our shop because it was maybe the only option for them, we want to make sure that they're still able to have that enjoyment if it's within our power to do so.
Definitely. Yeah, cool. Guys, thanks very much for listening. That is the end of the podcast. A big thank you for Georgina for coming in from ROHO, and we hope you enjoyed this podcast.